Welcome our second panel. We've got a second fantastic panel here for you. And our first panelist on the second panel is Ondřej Šmakal. Ondřej is a leading Czech manager with many years of experience in marketing, finance, and insurance. He started his professional career 20 years ago in a marketing agency where he worked on complex projects and campaigns for renowned clients from the automotive, technology, as well as retail sector. He then spent 2 years at ČSOB Pojišťovna as a manager of direct marketing of pension funds, and then worked in the same area in the insurance company Aegon. For the last 10 years, Ondřej has held senior management positions in companies that provide non-bank loans, both in the Czech Republic and internationally. He led global marketing of ProReal Group. He was a director of Credit On in the Czech Republic and Credit One in Slovakia. And he served on the supervisory board of the Association of Non-Bank Credit Providers. Ondřej co-founded KPS Advisory, which is a financial advisory company focusing on mortgage loans. And he was at the birth of the Czech branch of Viva Credit, which provided short-term non-bank loans. In 2017, Ondřej became the head of Orka Ventures. And from the beginning, he was personally responsible for creating and implementing the strategy. And that included setting up all processes which are now automated, and that makes Orka Ventures a pioneer in its field. Orka Ventures is an international fintech group focused on providing consumer loans and other financial products. And what differentiates Orka Ventures from its competition is the sophisticated scoring model, which uses big data to minimize risks associated with fraud and non-performing loans. Orka Ventures is also a pioneer of the so-called pay now, finance later principle. Originally a Czech company based in Prague, Orka Ventures is currently located mainly in Denmark and Iceland. It has 125,000 clients and a total volume of loan has to date reached almost 3.3 billion Czech crowns. The company is currently planning to expand to other European markets with a total potential of 60 to 80 million new customers. So welcome, Ondřej. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning, Vera. Thank you very much for a great introduction. I'm very happy that I was invited to this conference today, and I can give you a few words regarding the support of innovations and startups in ESG. Basically, I'd like to talk not just about the ESG, but generally about the startupists, because I think it doesn't matter whether you are doing the business in ESG or normal standard business. You always need some support of your product project innovation, and you need the money for this. So generally, I prepared basically today the topic about the mindset blockers, which basically all of the startups has or have, and we should basically understand them and a little bit step out of your own comfort zone to basically have your project successful. Super. As I told you, I will be speaking today about the mindset blockers, which I think it's necessary for all of the startups to understand and to move the project forward. I will have no such a sophisticated presentations as all of the speakers behind me. But I will try to a little bit make it much more softer and talk about the core things. So thank you very much. You introduced us. Basically, we are a company which is doing the business in Nordics, mainly in Iceland, which is not very easy market, and we are there over the decades. But we also experience some of the let's say development of the company. And because we are doing the loans, we also need some investors. So our main topic or my main task is currently to get the investors into the company and investors to other projects which we are focusing on. In Iceland, we are not just doing the consumer finance, we are also doing the business-to-business financing. We have factoring, and lately or recently we updated our service to neobank because we understand that the target group would like to get better products. As I told you, we will be talking about the mindset blockers. I will give a little bit overview about some theory which we all know. So we have, all of us has a brain which is divided into parts, which is one is the rational and one is the emotional, which are basically driving our decisions or our wishes. Some of us, or some people has more strong emotional part of the brain. Some of the people has more rational part of the brain, and it's visible in all of the steps which we are doing basically in our life. Yeah. So basically, if we do see in the shop nice thing which we would like to buy, we basically are running by the emotional things, not the rational things. So we are not considering whether we can afford it or we cannot afford it, but we are basically deciding about the emotional part or the hard part. So we like the thing, and usually we buy the thing despite of the rational fact. And it comes basically similar in the business. Many startups basically are deciding more rational or more emotional based on how their brain is set up. And it could be the blocker or the accelerator of their idea or of their project. And they might get, the support for the innovations and support for the project easier or way less easier. The second very well-known thing is that we have some comfort zone. All of us has some comfort zone which we do not want to step out because we feel much more secured, much more safe in the comfort zone. But truth is that all of the magic is happening outside of the comfort zone. You have to step out of the comfort zone. You do the things which you don't like, which you are not feeling yourself very secured. And these steps are basically bringing you the success. Yeah. And this is important because many startups do not want to step out of the comfort zone. And in practical way, we do hear from our co-workers or cooperators many things which are blocking the development of the company or are blocking getting the funding to the company, and they have to step out of the comfort zone. Just the main in practice, if you have a look, the main practical blockers are, for example, they don't think big. So the home market, maximum Slovakia, are enough. They don't want to think big, and this is kind of the for investors to support the project, because they are seeing just the Czech market and Slovak market very small. They don't want to invest into it. They would like to see the perspective of the project. They would like to see the income to the project. So this is one of the blocker in practical life of the startup is. The second could be I'm Czech. I don't need a Czech investor. This is I do need the Czech investor. This is actually not true. In Czech Republic, there are not many investors which are able to help Czech ideas, Czech innovations, and that's why all of the startups should be also looking outside of our country and go, for example, to Germany or to Switzerland. Where is the capital located? And they have to attract these investors and persuade about their own project. But they are somehow limited. They don't want to speak in English language. They don't want to speak in any foreign language, and they feel that they will find Czech investors. So basically, this is the second of big blocker of the projects to be successful. Then definitely what I met as one of the blockers is that they all telling that my project is not ESG. I believe that all of the projects, startups, or the could be ESG. Even us, we are doing the lending business. We could be ESG. I can tell you how. But definitely in all of the aspects, or you can find in your projects some of the aspects which could be the ESG, environmental, social, definitely. Then the startups are not preparing the proper pitch deck. and they don't think that they can verbally attract investors, or they can prepare the huge Word document, which is not basically understandable for the investors, and that's why they are not communicating properly with the investors, and they have simply no success. Also, they have no patience. So basically, when you are trying to get the support for a project, it's more than a year or more than a year to get the proper funding for a project, or to get a proper financial partner for a project. So you have to have a patience. You cannot go to the market, ask for the finance, and 6 months or 9 months to close the project that it's not successful. The second or the further blockers which we do see when basically the startup is asking for the money is that everything must be under their control. Yeah, so not everything must be under their control. They can take part of the business and they can give it to some of the other providers or other industry. So for example, we had an experience with one of the manufacturer, or basically the idea maker, who created very nice slate. The slate is transparent. The slate basically is from my perspective fully ESG, because from one side you can see, if it's installed on the roof, you can see basically the color of the roof, but from the interior it's fully transparent. And the tile has incorporated or installed inside the cooling system, and also the solar panels inside. So it's very nice. But the startupist think that he has to have everything under his control. So he said that he would like to get the money for not just for the R&D of such a slate, but also he would like to get the money for creation or the foundation of the manufacturer, a big factory which will be manufacturing these slates. And I think from many perspectives, for investors, it's the blocker, yeah, because they don't want to put a lot of money in such a project which is basically not proved, and it's not proved in sales. So yes, so the investor could be the startups can also think outside of the box and put some of the project under the control of some other companies. Very important thing is when they are coming to us, all of the Czech startups are completely underestimating the technology patent. They don't patent the idea. If they are patenting the idea, they don't patent it as a patent family, and it's kind of the blocker also for the investors. Yeah, and the last point, which I think it's very important, and it's very connected to the comfort zone, or maybe to the emotional part of the brain, is that many startups think that the investors are not talking a proper thing. They don't understand their baby. And this is a quite a big blocker. So they didn't listen, or they don't listen to the investors. What's the investors' worry, and they don't send these worries into their idea in order to get the funding for the project. So these are basically typical blockers which I met during my career, and which are basically, doesn't matter whether the project is ESG or not ESG, but it's basically a blocking to get the money for good projects, good ideas, good innovations, which could move not just the Czech but the other economies way ahead. But this is not just the experience this is not the practice without the experience. We also lesson learned. We have also lesson learned in our own business. So I can show you the example about our journey, where I was introducing our company, how we are developing, but it was not the development without the lesson learned these things which I was talking about. So basically, in 2019, our company has experienced some regulatory issues, and we had to start looking for the investors. In that time, we've been a digital lender with a single loan product, single market, just web-based sales. We had very limited target group, and we had the pitch deck, which was just a few sheets on the Word document. We didn't think big, and we had no partners. We went on the capital market. We were asking for the money. We were completely not attractive. So after a half a year or 3/4 of the year, we get back to the tables, and we just decided that we have to move on. And we a little bit step out from the comfort zone, and we prepared basically an entrance to another market, and we prepared the strategy, what markets and what products we would like to get. And when we did this, we entered to Denmark, and we realized that we need extra money, and that's why we went again to the capital market. We were again not successful because the company was a little bit more attractive than before, but we didn't properly listen to investors what they are saying to us, that we need to diversify the risk to more markets. They have worries about the target group. They have worries about that we are not basically connected with big partners. Some of the investors was looking for some ESG features or ESG parameters in our products, and many of investors do not read our Word document presentation because it was very complex, very long, not very attractive. The investors simply do not want to read it. For them, it's very important to have a good it's basically a sell, so you have to communicate yourself very clearly. It's kind of the marketing. So we went back again to the table, and we changed completely our minds. And last year we finalized completely the strategy. We finalized entrance. We purchased one company in the Czech Republic to have diversified risk. We basically changed the sales channel, which is allowing us to basically also more monetize the client base we have. We integrated big partners, and we basically found the ESG features in our project. And on the first moment, you can say it's a lending product. What ESG you could do? But we basically implement few features in our lending product, which basically could get the ESG feeling of the project. So, for example, our mobile app, which is the neobank, has the CO2 loyalty club. So basically, all of the transactions calculated to the CO2, and basically the client is getting the CO2 track in, or he's getting the points, and he can basically, if he's behaving in a good manners to CO2, he is getting some advantages like the free postponement of the loans or the free interest loans, etc., etc. For each loan, we are planting the trees in Iceland, yeah. And we integrated the pay now, finance later model, which is basically improving the financial well-being of the client and supporting the financial inclusion of the client. So we implemented the model where the client can take the loan, but we are trying to educate him how to work with the loans and with the expenses. So we basically completely changed from the digital lender to neobank with ESG touch, and we basically success with this project because it has all of the aspects. We went out of the comfort zone. We implemented different sales channels. We still have the same loan product. We enhanced we basically went to the 3 markets, and we basically renamed the target group which we are supporting. And we started presenting the company much more clearer, and we integrated to the big partners. And basically, we started to be very attractive to the customers. Basically, during the summer, we raised to this project about 11 million euros, and we can continue in supporting this project further or developing this project further. So it's a clear example how we were locked in our comfort zone, but we were slowly, understanding that we need to step out of this comfort zone and to get basically to prepare the project more attractive for the investors. These were our mind blockers, so we didn't think big. We always limited ourselves to the single market. As I said, for the investors, it's not diversified risk; it's a large risk of the financial loss. So if something happens on one market, basically they are losing the money. We had an emotional limit on one loan product. It was super profitable and it was super scalable. We are distributing our loans within 16 seconds from the applications. But it has a bad public perception, because even though we have a very low interest rate on the loans, we are doing a short-term loans, and short-term loans are connected to bad loans. And so we basically changed just the code of the product. So we redressed the product, and it was well accepted by the funds and the VC investors, and it's not basically affecting their PR reputation. Definitely, we were lazy to make a proper pitch deck. We were postponing to prepare the proper pitch deck, which has all of the information inside and was good material. So if you have an idea and if you would like to get the money, your task is to do marketing on the project to get the funding for the project. So proper pitch deck, which is easy readable for the investors and has all of the figures, information, which is readable for the investors, it's a must. Without this, you can't success on the market. We basically didn't listen to the investors because we were stick to our business. Yeah, so they were telling us, look, your target group, you're naming your target group as a subprime, and it's associated with subprime mortgage crisis in the US. It's for us the big risk. But later we realized we just renamed the target group. We will find, or we cooperate with some of the other partners to persuade the investors that it's correct target group. And you can see recently the FCU authority, which is Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, which is the authority which is regulating the financial market in the UK, and also basically the PricewaterhouseCoopers issued several researches that the target group which we are servicing is basically 60% of the economic active people. So we just wrongly, it was the new mainstream, and we just wrongly named the target group, which were blocking us from getting the funding. And we thought that we are so good that we don't need a big brands. So we didn't connect ourselves with big brands. Later, we realized that we need them to get us to basically a club, because even the investors are lazy. Sometimes they would like to see that some of the guys are investing, or some of the big guys are investing, or some of the big guys are supporting such projects, because it's make them a comfort to invest. And at the end of the day, we basically didn't change the product, or we didn't change the market. So we have the product, we have the same market or more market, and we are still profitable. But we changed the thinking mindset, and we just upgraded the projects according what investors were telling us that it's for them the sexy or to invest in. So these are the example on our own company, how even us doing the business 10 years already on Iceland, being profitable, successful, can our own comfort zone can be limited to our comfort zone and cannot, and be very difficult to get the funding for, because we are limited into our comfort zone. So we need to step out, and it's the same valid for the startups. They need to understand that they need to do more for their projects to get successful. So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention, and Vera, back to you.
Thank you, Ondřej. Very interesting presentation and honest self-reflection. I really did appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.